This episode of Chasing the Dollar is proudly brought to you by Sportingbet. There's no better bet than a Sportingbet.
Well, hello and welcome along to Chasing the Dollar, brought to you by Sportingbet. Ben Damon is my name, joined as always by Adam Pengilly. Adam, how do you like this meeting?
Yeah, it's not too bad. They've got a tricky little free-for-all race. Looking forward to that, and a couple of difficult legs of the quaddie, but I think we might be able to find a few winners if we're lucky.
Yeah, there's a bit of value around, so Adam thinks anyway. We kick it off with the first leg of the quaddie, race number 5. This is the free-for-all. It's a pretty nice race too. Lagoon Luana comes back from Sandown, goes into this one, and you've got it on top.
Yeah, it does. Been pretty good free-for-all this race. We've had a lot of good free-for-all races at Wentworth Park over the last few weeks. You could probably make a case to suggest that Lagoon Luana is probably a better greyhound drawn out wide on the track, but I still think back in grade she has undeniable claims here, and she's clearly my on-top selection. I thought she was pretty good behind Elle Brooklyn in the heats of the Sapphire Crown on a short turnaround from the ladies' bracelet. No doubt there's going to be a little bit of pressure on her outside with Charmed Assassin and Magic Billions, but I still think she's good enough to win the jump to the first turn, and I think she should be running away and winning this race. Going to include Magnum Blast for second now. I've always had a little bit of a rap on this greyhound. The problem is he needs a lot of luck in his races because he tends to get back and has a lot of ground to make up over the final stages. But he should be able to get a nice card into the race behind the inside 3 greyhounds here. It's a vacant box on his outside, so if he can get around that first turn unimpeded, I think he can run a huge race at some sort of odds. Charmed Assassin's my third pick. I thought there was a few concerning signs for me last start when Incumbent gave him windburn around the first turn. But back to an inside draw, he's got plenty of class, so I can't discount him, and Luck's Change looks the best of the rest.
The second leg of the quaddie is race number 6. Here is a look at the field, and it's a pretty tough-looking race, this one. You'd think maybe Triggsy will jump the favourite? Yeah,
it's a hard race to assess, Ben. I think Triggsy probably will jump favourite, but I'm going to go with Where's Wob here. I thought he was a complete forgive run a couple of weeks ago at Wentworth Park when he's badly checked going out of the first turn. I think he's drawn pretty well here. He should be able to zoom down in the middle of the track and be in the firing line early. If he can get around that first turn without too many problems, I think he can probably hold on and win this race. Going to go with Triggsy for second. Now, he's been threatening to win a few of these races at Wentworth Park over the last month or so. He finally broke through last week when he gunned down Goodwin Future in the final stages, and in pretty smart time too. He's got plenty of class, and I think he'll be rattling home and give them all a fright in the final 50 metres. Geronimo is going to be my third pick. He's usually pretty tardy away from the boxes, but can really motor late, as shown by his 29.89 at the track last month. And Watto Lotto also rattled home last week, but has probably drawn on the wrong side of the track for this.
Well, race number 7 is the third leg of the quaddie. Let's have a look at the field for this one. Now, Morningtown Man has drawn the 7 here. You're following Morningtown Man. Got smashed at the Gardens last week.
He did, Ben. He did his best impersonation of a slalom skier at the Gardens last start in the first 40 or 50 metres. We just kept bouncing off greyhounds left and right. But if you watched him a couple of starts ago at Wentworth Park, you could have thought this greyhound could be absolutely anything. Admittedly, it was against a pretty common field, but he drew out wider on the track, and once he balanced up after 30 or 40 metres, he absolutely flew and just did enough to hold on at the end. He's drawn out wide again. I think it's a favourable draw for him on Saturday night, and I think he should get a few breaks from out there. If he can balance up and again accelerate really quickly into the first turn, I think he might be able to do enough to just hold on at the end. So he's going to be my on-top pick. Now, Ron Ray Fly is probably one that will benefit from the draw as well, because Morningtown Man is a mad wide runner, and she's drawn underneath him. She's got a little bit of toe early, so I expect her to be in the firing line as well. She's definitely not without a chance. I thought Pepper Calm was pretty fantastic behind her kennelmate Luck's Change last week, and she doesn't have too much pressure either side here. I could probably make a case for her as well. And Slickum Sun has some speed and should be able to poke up along the rails and be prominent early.
We move to the final leg of the quaddie. This is race number 8 on the program. Let's have a look at the field. Now, Adam, you're tipping one here, Bronze Venus, that hasn't won in 14 goes at Wentworth Park. How do you come up with that?
I don't know, Ben, but I think the draw is going to be perfect for her on Saturday night. You can call me crazy, but I think this might be the time that Bronze Venus finally breaks through at Wentworth Park. In her defence, she has placed 9 times from 14 tries at the track, so she is extremely consistent. And I think with this draw on Saturday night, Pride of Mykonos has drawn inside of her. He's an absolute mad rails runner. Laurie's Gift is drawn on the outside. He tends to use a little bit of the track, so I think if she's good enough to take advantage of that, I think she should be well and truly in this race and a massive chance of winning. So we're going to cross our fingers for Bronze Venus on Saturday night. Laurie's Gift's going to go in for second. Now, he's a nippy type who can show a little bit of speed. From the draw, he does tend to go a little bit right, but I think he should be able to be right up there in the early running, and he's definitely a chance. Now, Pride of Mykonos, if he can replicate his best form, he's ran 30 and 13 at the track before, he's a chance, but it just depends which Pride of Mykonos turns up on Saturday night. And Atara Curl was a huge winner at Dapto last start, but this event looks a little bit tougher.
Well, another of Adam's best bets got up last week. What is it this week?
Going to go with race 9, number 7, Clockwise, Ben. Now, I know she's an absolute mad rails crasher and she's drawn out wide on the track, but I don't think this event is particularly hard. She's got plenty of ability and I think she might be able to overcome any problems from the draw.
And the value comes in that last leg of the quaddie.
Yeah, going to go with Bronze Venus, Ben. I have no idea what price she's going to come up, to be honest, but having said that, I think she's a chance of breaking that big dugout at Wentworth Park.
OK, take us through the quaddie now.
Going to go with Lagoon Luana and Magnum Blast and Charmed Assassin as the insurance in the first leg. Going to go with Where's Wob, Triggsy and Toronimo in a pretty open second race. Morningtown Man, Ron Ray Fly and Pepper Khan look the main hopes in the third leg, and we'll be cheering home Bronze Venus and Laurie's Gift if we're still alive.
Yeah, we certainly will. Thank you, Adam. Well, it looks like one of those weeks we could make $1 million or make absolutely nothing. Good luck.
It could be like that, Ben. Hopefully it's $1 million.
Let's hope so. We'll see you next time on Chasing the Dollar.
This episode of Chasing the Dollar is proudly brought to you by Sportingbet. There's no better bet than a Sportingbet.